Here's Remillard, squares to bunt, drops it down the third base line. That's a good one. How about that for your first big league knock? Ear to try and get those pitch comm signs. Remillard into left. It's through. 1-0. Oh my. Into right. Down for a hit. Left field. That's a base knock for Remillard.
But you take a chance. And you flip it to left center field and get the run home anyway. Remillard going for second base, and the throw is not in time.
Remillard, first pitch swinging. Center field.
Build on that. Here in the third, and maybe so. That ball's drilled by Remillard deep left field, and Zach Remillard takes it up and out. His first major league home run.
I knew I was going to be a professional athlete since I was born.
We're here, might as well win.
There's like this deep knowing that this is the direction God called you in. Using those values that were established at Coastal and just like bringing them into pro ball. Some of these kids do things better than me. I'd be like, I'm the cockroach. Like, you could blow this all up. Like, I'll be back. Like, man, we're going to the box. And I'm like, whoa. Like,
God has plans for you, that are good plans to prosper, to succeed. And
afraid to surrender the game of baseball to God. Like, he crushes either.
all right, welcome back to Live at the Show. My name is Jake Robbins, and we're excited about our special guest today, Zach Remillard. Thanks for being with us. Zach, he embodies work ethic. He's passionate about the game. He really exemplifies resilience throughout your career, and I'm excited to talk about youth baseball to Coastal Carolina to the minor leagues, all the way to the big leagues, and the ups and downs and setbacks and successes that you had. So, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, youth baseball, you and I have discussed it in the past a little bit. You grew up in upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
So, being from upstate New York, it's cold. You practice indoors a lot. We have the same thing here at SBA. We're inside, and obviously, as soon as we can get outside, we desire to do that. The game's played outside, but at an early age, you've worked really hard to get to where you've gotten to today. But you have a teacher's, a coach's mindset. You really enjoy helping kids. At what age did you know that you knew you wanted to help the youth?
I think I kind of grew into it. I think for a while, I'm a pretty cerebral, analytical mind when it comes to playing the game, and I think just obsessing over mechanics and trying so many things and spending so much time in the cage, I kind of gained a good understanding of different mindsets and learned a lot of different ways to fail and a lot of different ways to correct. And I think that as I grew in my faith, the more I saw that important to share in other people's struggles. So I think it kind of just set itself up and walked into it.
Right. So at what age did you know you loved the game?
I knew I was going to be a professional athlete since I was born. I didn't know what sport it was going to be. I loved the speed of football and basketball when I was a kid a lot more than baseball. When my brother committed to playing baseball, and he started doing it year-round, I kind of was like, hey, I want to do that too. I just kind of followed my brother and saw an opportunity. So that's kind of when I dove into baseball. But once it became baseball, I knew it would be baseball, but I always knew I was going to play professional sports.
It's funny you say that. I mentioned in a previous conversation how my mom asked me at the age of 5 what I want to do when I grew up, and I said, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. And so she asked me again a second time. I had the same answer. A third time, I had the same answer. And so she left it at that, and she still tells that story today. I knew in my heart that's what I wanted to do. And the Bible talks about that. The Lord He'll place in your heart what He wants you to do, and He'll give you the desires of your heart. It takes work ethic and, along with that talent that He's given us. But it's funny you have the same story that you knew what you wanted to do.
I think it's really cool that God does that, and you have this deep knowing that you struggle with doubt at times. You get hit with adversity. You can't kind of pave the road. You get thrown off track. You hit detours, but there's this deep knowing that this is the direction God called you in, and there's always this rekindling of coming back to the game and knowing that I had something to see through. But if you would have told me now that the journey was going to be what it was going to be, I don't know if I would have been as high on my horse to sign up for that professional sports life. So it's been a very humbling experience. So as much as people think, like, play in the big leagues, do all these things, like you check these boxes that like people want to check. And I could tell you that like checking those boxes was actually the very thing that like brought me to my knees in humility, because like I was the last person on a lot of teams I played on once I got to pro ball, and I found out really quick that like I wasn't as important as I thought I was. So it was a really good journey that's led me to be able to connect and help kids even more.
Right. I have the saying that if you're not giving, you're not living. And I wish I would have had the opportunity to coach while I was still playing, because you learn so much through teaching and coaching kids, and then you go back to play and you can insert those times of reflection and into your own game. Have you and I coached together 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, for the first time, and obviously you were still playing. It was during the fall season when you were off. How did those times of coaching those 15, 16-year-olds help you in your game?
More than you know, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I watch these kids, and it's like, if you're able to like see through the lens of like just being present, like some of these kids do things better than me. Like, and I know that sounds crazy because I'm a professional athlete. They're 10U, 12U, 14U, but it's like there's something that they do that is better than what I do, and I can take that thing and learn from them, like how they create that, whether like to the extent that they know or are aware, and I can actually like model my game after these kids. And like Hudson Simmons, Banks Stevenson, like just there's a lot of guys that I've worked with for a long time that like I've used things that I was very impressed with in them and tried to like implement them in my game because I thought they were like pretty effective.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reflect on the career that I had, 18 days in the big leagues, 14 years total, a lot of bus rides. And I look back at it, and people ask me, do you regret anything? And I don't believe in living a life of regret at all. The only thing I've questioned is, do I wish I knew it was a business before? Because I just played the game. I love to play the game. And I think it's important just to play the game. At what point did you kind of see, did it switch for you from playing the game to understand a little bit like the business part of it?
I think that happened probably, honestly, like in my 6th year of pro ball.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty like stubborn, and I think I just kept my head down and just knew that playing the game, like one step at a time, I'd get to where I was going. And I started to see like when I felt like I earned it and I didn't receive what was due to me, that's when I started to have questions, because like I am so hard on myself that I thought I was underperforming for a very long time in pro ball. So like I would have consistent years, like hit 250, 260, play everywhere on the field, like.
Right.
But I thought I was playing really bad, and I didn't realize like I had value. But like the year that I ended up like putting up the numbers I knew I was capable of, then I had this expectation of like, okay, where is what I deserve? And it's like when it didn't come, I was like, it's not as straightforward as I thought, because
Right.
I was in my place and now I wasn't. And so like that's kind of when I looked into how they view things and operate things. And I think that there was a couple-year period where I was not okay with that. And then I think as like my faith like kind of integrated into that, like I began to like release that. Like I had to see it, I couldn't control it, and I had to surrender it. And it was like, no matter what, like if it is a business and God is who God says he is, then like ultimately it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
the only thing I'm pushing is my own timeline and my own ego and my own pride. It's like if I am here for the people to share the gospel and to live in love in the freedom that I'm given, then like no matter what position I'm stuck in, like there's people around me that God has called me to, and God knew I would be there. So
Right.
it's like nothing was accidental, and I deserved nothing and everything kind of shifted to being a gift. So like the business aspect began to fade away again. It just didn't matter.
Right. That's good. The kind of let's go back to how your high school years. You're playing obviously in high school. How prevalent was the showcase game up in New York State?
It was growing. Like we had a really good flock of kids. Like we've had a lot of big leaguers in one age group, like from our area, that started to grow. But like in terms of showcase, like there were only a few elite guys that like got to do the perfect game, the like showcase of stars. I think that was one of them. The area code games, like it was a very selective group. So we never got to do all the national showcasing stuff. Like we went to Worldwood Bat, we went to like some of the big tournaments, did a lot of like fall ball where the Northeast kids would get seen. And there's always schools and stuff that kind of go up there and try to sneak out talent. But it wasn't very big. Like I had to go to college camps. Like I had to send videos. I had to do what I could to get exposure that social media and organizations like didn't necessarily provide at that level. They provided everything we needed, but it wasn't a super intentional process. So
very storied career you had at Coastal Carolina, individually and the teams that you're on. How did you get to Coastal Carolina? Where did that exposure come from to get you to Gary Gilmore and those guys?
Yeah, my brother transferred out of Temple to Coastal, and in that process, like Schnall was following him, and I think I was hitting in the cage, and just he got eyes on and was interested. So I wanted to show them more, so I ended up getting invited or coming to a camp and did a workout for him, and I got offered on the spot. And a couple weeks later, like it was like there was a time crunch, and I was forced with a real life decision really fast at a young age, and for some reason I knew that's where I wanted to go.
Right. So upstate New York to Coastal Carolina, in South Carolina, you guys made an unbelievable run. Leading up to that run, your freshman year, your sophomore year, did you know that y'all had something special? I know a couple of players and been around them, as now coaches, but did y'all know that you had something special those previous years?
We knew we had something special relationally, and we believed we were good, but I don't think anyone knew what we really were, because there were some pieces that had to come together. But if you look at that team, I think sophomore year, like a lot of that senior class when we were sophomores were a part of a team that missed the postseason for like the first time in a really long time, and like I think we might have had a losing season, and at Coastal Carolina, like that's unheard of.
Right.
And Gary was faced with a decision, Coach Gilmore, to stick with us or not. And he saw something that we thought we had. Like we knew we had a good group of guys, and we knew that to be important. So kudos to him for sticking with us, and that group ended up growing through those growth pains, into a team that was pretty effective.
Right.
Yeah.
The couple of guys I mentioned, A.J. Marks, who's coaching in college now, Mike Morrison, who's the pitching coach at Alabama. You guys have similar personalities. You're grinders, high energy, very disciplined, and love for the game. I'm assuming the entire team was kind of the same mold. I mean, you guys highly successful. You beat LSU in the national championship, in the super regional, and then you run through Omaha. Take me through that week and a half.
Man, winning supers was like the point at which I was like, okay, like what just happened? Because like winning a regional was always like first and foremost. Like you get to the playoffs, there's the regional. Like when they announced that we were aligned with NC State and then LSU as a super, everyone on the team started being like, man, like we're going to the box, and I'm like, whoa, like we have a huge like uphill climb ahead of us. I mean, I think our 3 seed was St. Mary's with Corbin Burns, and I think the 4 seed was Army, and they had a good arm. I think they beat NC State first game, so we had a tough regional, and NC State was one of the best teams we played that year. So I think that like once we won that, I was like, wow, like we're going to the box. And then when we won the Super Regional and swept them for the first time in history at their place in a Super, I like couldn't fathom what was going on. And I think I was at Alex Box when I got the call from the White Sox that I got drafted because they used to do it during the season.
Right.
And that was kind of a cool experience to carry into Omaha, to where like my future felt like it was like no longer a distraction. Like I was going to get an opportunity to play pro ball, and it kind of just like we just dove into like us. Like, and it wasn't a distraction before really, but like to have that was like a nice thing. And Omaha, we opened up with Florida, the best team in the country. I think they had like 5 first-round arms and like so on and so forth. Like their roster was like way better than ours. And we beat them 3-2. Beckwith, or 2-0. I think Beckwith threw a shutout. Yeah, 2-0. And like when we beat them, game 1, it's like we actually might do this. And sure enough, like it just kept going a day at a time.
Yeah.
I think not to keep going, but I think our motto the whole entire postseason was like we just wanted another day, because we knew this group will never be in the same room again. Not every one of us, not playing together, and we had something special that we knew was coming to a close, no matter if we won or lost. So we really cherished every moment and took it a day at a time.
Right. I had the opportunity to play on a championship team in AAA in the Indians organization, and we had a similar mantra was that we're here, might as well win. Right? One more day, and so that's really cool. So that those times you're going through that pressure, the preparation each day, what it takes to win at that highest level. How did that prepare you for pro ball?
I think it was mainly belief and possibility, like to do something that's so outside the realm of what you believed was possible. Not that I thought it was impossible, but like I honestly never even got there. Like it seemed so far out of my control to win a national championship, because it would depend on way more than me. Like getting drafted is like, it depends on more than you, but it's more of a personal goal. And playing in the big leagues, but like winning a national championship is like that takes a village. You know what I mean? So like that is kind of like where I literally came off your question.
You're good.
Repeat your question one more time.
How did that preparation, the pressure that you're playing in Omaha, the preparation that you put into it, and all the things from being disciplined and the work ethic and obviously the character you have, how did that prepare you for pro ball?
Yeah, like I said, the belief, the faith, like to overcome the impossible, and then to like go into pro ball and face another impossible challenge, just through perseverance and like one day at a time mindset, and like kind of just using those values that were established at Coastal and just like bringing them into pro ball. And it was like I didn't know what kind of marathon was standing in front of me, for sure. But I knew that my gift I wasn't better than everyone else. Like I wasn't the most talented player. I was driven, and perseverance is something I've been gifted with. Like I'll be the guy. Like I joke around with my big league teammates too. Every time I got DFA'd, I'd be like, I'm the cockroach. Like you could blow this all up. Like I'll be back.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, you're not gonna kill me. And sure enough, like I got DFA'd 2-3 times and like found myself back there with those guys the same season, the next season, like just continuing to not let anything dictate what when my journey was going to end. I think a lot of guys end their career long before the decision is made. I think that in their hearts, they lose the fire, they lose the drive, the perseverance. Then it shows up into performance, and then it kind of gets validated by the end of their career. Versus like, if you have the belief in your heart and you stay like perseverant, like you don't need it to go the way you think you need it to go to stay alive.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. I think as you were talking, I was wanting to branch off from that question. So in Jeremiah, it talks about God has plans for you, that are good plans to prosper and to succeed. And as you're talking about all things are possible, that's my favorite scripture, in the Gospels. All things are possible to him that believe. Nothing's impossible, especially when God's plans for you and what he has for you He gave them to you, so nobody can take them away. And it's just our opportunity and to believe and to walk those plans out. So nothing's impossible to him that believeth. So you're drafted by the White Sox. You played through the minor leagues. You talked about getting DFA'd up and down from the big leagues. How you're always going to persevere. So going back to when you got called up to the big leagues, it's a special time. One of the most special moments I've had in my walk through baseball. Talk to us about that.
It was a really cool moment. I was playing AAA for the coach. My first year when I got drafted, hitting coach Justin Jerschley, and he was now the manager in AAA. So we came up together, him as a coach, me as a player, and we had a really good relationship. And we've been through some hard seasons together. Like I said, me as a player, him as a coach, and for him to deliver the news, I was playing shortstop in Durham against the Bulls, and they called timeout to stop the game. They pulled me off the field, and I was like I had an inkling, but it was man, it's been a long ride, and it's
right.
Is it how? I literally was walking off the field is this it? Is this it? And sure enough, I got to the dugout, and he told me I was going to Chicago, and I remember just going down to the locker room and call my wife, call my dad, call my brother, and I think that you say, there's no regrets, but I think in my life I've had so many missed moments because I'm so good at next thing. There was part of me that had that wouldn't sit in that moment because I had a job to do, and that mindset kind of not robbed me of it, but I do wish I would slow down and receive that a little bit more. So I cut my emotions off a little bit, made the phone calls, got prepared, got on the road, and it was now I was in the big leagues. I have
Right.
a job to do, but it was a moment I think that revisiting, I still get choked up, and there's still more to be felt there, but I'll never forget it.
Yeah, my situation is actually pretty similar. 10 years in the minor leagues, you get called up, and because I'd played with those guys, I didn't feel like a rookie, even though I was, and I didn't take it all in because it was just another game. It was another opportunity. Yes, the stands were bigger. There were more people in the crowd, but literally I stood on the mound. It was the one thing that went through my head was first pitch strikes. It had been ingrained, versus taking it all in and be like, man, this is a crazy moment. So you can look at the pros and cons of it. I look at that as a pro for you, you're the discipline and what you prepare for. You were ready for it.
Yeah, I remember getting there, and I had one of my teammates. He was like, "Dude, when you get out there, you're gonna be shaking." And he's he was having fun with it, and I just looked at him and I said, "I really don't think so." I'm 29 years old. Yeah. I've waited a long time. I knew I was gonna do this since I was 5.
Right.
I was I'm ready to find out. I don't care if it's the worst game of my life, best game of my life. I'm just ready to find out. And yeah, sure enough, first game was in Dodger Stadium, and I just sat the bench, but I was active, which was cool. I mean, Dodger Stadium's a cool place to watch a game from the dugout.
Right.
And we flew to Seattle after, and I don't know if it was the first or second game of the series, but yeah, TA went down, and it happened to where I didn't have to sleep on it. I didn't have a start tomorrow. I was in the dugout, and then it was hey, a couple toe touches and get in there. And sure enough, I found myself, playing second base.
That's really cool. So you're up and down in the big leagues, and then you have a little bit of a setback. Tommy John.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know the whole story, but it's easier to hide behind the fact that I just got hurt. But that's not the exact story. 2024, I was up and down. When I got sent down, I wouldn't say I didn't handle it well from a relational standpoint. I think that at this point in my career, I find a lot of fulfillment pouring into other guys, and I know that I'm there for the people, and the people are there to pour into me. So it's I think that is something I cherish. But I did struggle in my own performance when I went back to AAA to focus or to not treat it as a place where I needed to be something I wasn't. So when I went back, I struggled bad offensively, and I found myself on the development list, which is like the phantom IL at 30 years old. Like, yeah, after like I've just spent most of the last 2 seasons in the big leagues, like now I'm on the development list in AAA, and it's like talk about a 180. And yeah, I was like, so I took the development list, I poured into guys, and like I trained every day like it was college. Like I took ground balls, I hit, I took extra swings, I was in the cage during the game. Like I just treated it as like, all right, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I have. And I think I didn't listen to my body, and there was a little bit of overwork in there, and I actually tore my UCL taking ground balls before pregame on the development list. I wasn't even supposed to be playing. Like, I'm not even getting ready to play.
Right.
And I tore my arm in practice because, like, I was just trying to get game reps while I was on the bench and, like, stay ready to, when I get activated, to get back in there. And, like, sure enough, I hurt myself. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's been the most challenging time during this rehab, coming back from Tommy John? You know, you've been in the weight room. You look great. What's been the most challenging? Is it mentally? Is it physically?
Honestly, I think this round has been like, it's been mostly the faith in the unknown. But my wife's first trimester for our baby was literally during the first week of my surgery recovery. So like, she's down and out with indigestion, all the fun things, the fatigue, and like, I can't even move my arm. I'm not sleeping. Like, it's like no one can go in the kitchen and get anything done. So it's like, that was a humbling season of having to call on help from family and just kind of like, I don't know, try to serve her from the bed. And it's like, I was trying to do my best, but like I found myself putting my, like kind of deleting the fact that I got surgery and just putting myself away for a really long time. And really not knowing in baseball, like, yeah, we had a really good couple financial years, but it's like, now nothing's coming in. My wife stepped away from her job. I, like, got Tommy John. I'm out of work. And, like, our future looked like a lot of unknowns. So we decided to move out of our townhouse when the lease was up. We're in with my parents now. So we're raising our first daughter with my parents. And I'm like working at SBA because like I can't wait till the season. Like I could, but like I don't want to because like I want to start like building up for our family and like pouring in, and like I love what we're doing here. But it's like, talk about that 180 of like your whole life, afraid to surrender the game of baseball to God because like he crushes idols. Like, and then like you finally get to the position where you have faith and trust and you lay it down because you know he's what's best, and he does it so graciously and kindly, and you find yourself in the situation that you were most afraid of, unafraid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting you said, you mentioned the round you were in, and it made me think of like a boxing match. I mean, you know, round 1, round 2, round 3. You've been to the big leagues, maybe the peak of the fight, right? And now maybe you're around 8, 9, 10. And we talked about earlier, you know, God has plans for us. It's interesting that, you know, Paul said in the epistles that I've become, have the ability to be content with much and with little, right? And so there's different rounds in our lives, but having that continual faith and confidence in the Lord, that you're going to get to the next round, right? And there's victory at the end. How do you walk through that? Is it biblical? For me, it's biblical. Like, you know, if I see it in the Word, I believe it. So how is it for you? Like, how do you know the Lord's there's victory at the end?
I think it truly draws from like this like intimate personal relationship because like I was very rigid and legalistic early in my walk, and because like I didn't want to give up my idol. And it's like once I began to lay that down and like kind of came to the end of myself, and there's certainly more dying to do for sure, but like I like felt like as I continued to approach like these lowest points of like performance identity. And I think that's something a lot of athletes struggle with. It's like, who I am is what I do. And like when I surrendered baseball, like I just received this, like, honestly in a moment, and that doesn't happen a lot, but like in a moment I just like knew how much God loved me and I trusted him. And since that point, that was after the 2023 season, which is the best like season in my career. I did well in the big leagues, like everything started, it felt like it was happening, and like that was the turning point of like, okay, now everything's gonna get like pretty hard and like things are gonna go a different direction. Yet it was like spiritually like super filling. So I would just say it's like, it's all scripture, but then like experiencing scripture to give it like an experiential value in your life, to not just knowledge, like have not head knowledge, but to have like a deep experiential understanding of what that scripture actually means and the weight it holds. Like that is the lesson that God keeps like sovereignly interrupting my life to show me that like it isn't just knowledge in a different way. It's like a reality.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. When head knowledge becomes heart knowledge and revelation, it's then you can really act on it in faith.
Yeah.
It's really cool. All right. So, you've had a lot of success in from high school through college at Coastal Carolina, in the minor leagues with the White Sox, all the way to the big leagues. You've had an opportunity to be around a lot of intelligent people in the game, and you've mixed that with your spiritual walk with the Lord. Now you get the opportunity to impart that knowledge to the youth, right, so they can achieve their dreams. What's most exciting about that for you, and what are you looking forward to as far as that goes, working with kids?
I think first, like, I like puzzles, like in terms of like just like solving problems, and I think that there's the business side of like running an operation and like the people involved and like trying to make it work is like super enjoyable to me personally, like engaging. I love to be engaged in something that stretches me. From the relational like component, it's like biblically kids are the priority. Like they're very, 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 very important. Like, and beyond that, like I've always felt a call to, I don't know, their innocence, if that makes sense, just to like really try to create a path that doesn't interrupt like the beauty and creativity that God has given them to express within the things they do. And I think like in Genesis, like God created things, and like he creates things from nothing, and we create things from his created things. And I think that makes him like joyful. Like one of the sprinters in one of the movies, like when I run, I feel God's pleasure. It's like I see that in some of these kids, and they do love it. And I want to help them open the door of like worship in what they do, because like I do believe the enemy tries to choke out this love of the game with this performance identity that's like defines you, and you need to have a future, and if you're going to do this, then you have to be here, and these measurables and all these things. It's like there's a place for these tools, but like I want to set kids free from the thing that held me captive for a lot of my life. So it's like I think there's healthy ways of like parenting and coaching that's like you're not fixated on like doing it different for someone else, and like learning from your experience and being like, man, I wish, like, treat others how you want to be treated. I wish I had, and I did have coaches, but like imagine in pro ball, like, or college or anywhere, if your coach told you how safe and secure and loved and like how he's there as a resource, and like everything you do doesn't define you, and no matter what happens stage, like just setting kids free with that and pushing them by like showing them that like it's not easy and this doesn't define you, and like being good at baseball isn't everything, and it's like that balance of like freedom and discipline is something that like I think that we miss in youth sports. That is an area that I'm interested in trying to create.
Right. Yeah, the Bible talks about it's a great responsibility to to nurture kids and help youth get to where, and woe would be to the person who leads a kid astray. That's not, we obviously here at SBA we take that seriously. So in that, you're going to be or becoming, the hitting director. You're putting some processes in place and setting a foundation for kids at the plate. What's been the most rewarding piece of that challenge, and what are you looking forward to seeing in these kids, as far as being a good hitter and how and nurturing them through their development, understanding that it's a marathon, right? Rome wasn't built in a day, and one day doesn't define the next, but just that implementing those processes that you've lived out. How do you see yourself doing that, in the future here at Showcase?
Yeah, like you said, right now we're in the process of creating a whole new system and a more team cultured environment where instructors, staff, coaches, we're on the same page. We have a ecosystem that communicates. I know that you could probably back me up a million times on this, but sometimes you change rooms within the same organization and you find coaches speaking from different ends of the spectrum, and there's no uniformity, and it's confusing, and you don't know. Now you're picking sides, and now you feel like you're betraying a coach, and it puts a kid in a weird spot. You know what I mean? So it's the more we can communicate as a staff and build team culture, and move in a direction where we're not just trying to make kids better. I don't believe you push anyone anywhere. I believe you pull people everywhere. So the direction that you are going in, that you believe, is the way you're going to pull people, because it's in your actions, it's what you believe, it's what's driving your life. So it's if we can pull kids with us to do the things we believe are best, not only baseball-wise, but value-wise, character-wise, setting kids up for success in life, it's that's something that's super intriguing to me. So I think that when we're building these processes, knowing that it sets our coaching staff to have more time in relationship, and we can actually track progress to help kids build confidence. Because putting in time and effort and work and advancing your craft is it is rewarding. I think there's something to showing kids that you can get 1% better and that matters. You know what I mean? Versus oh, you did lessons, you hit 300, and this year you hit 295, so you must be getting worse. It's that's not progress.
Right.
Progress is, you always seen the graph of it's up, down, all the way, but it's a slow and steady increase. So kind of managing the lows and highs.
Right. It's a holistic approach to the game,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. I've always said that the game at the youth level, at the amateur level, is all about confidence. I'd rather have a kid with the absolute most confidence in the world with the worst swing than the best swing in the world with no confidence. And then once you're getting paid to play, it becomes a mental game. But the kids that we're around, they're not getting paid to play yet, and it's all about confidence. If you can instill confidence in somebody, they're going to have a lot more success than just the perfect swing. And I love that holistic approach to the whole hitting approach.
Yeah, I think if you can maximize if you can prioritize the person, and a healthy person is going to be the best player. An unhealthy person, sometimes the best thing you can do for someone's swing is to be there for them when their girlfriend breaks up with them. You know what I mean? I know that sounds crazy, but it's kids need to know that someone cares about them. I think that, and we care so much that you're here for, we're trying to maximize our process. You know what I mean? But foundationally, it's if you're loved, you can ask any kid who their favorite coach is of all time. It might be the guy that's hardest on them. It probably is, but that guy that's hardest on them probably showed him how much he cared about him.
Very true. Very true. So kind of winding down here, we talked about your Tommy John and your rehab from that, what you've learned from it. What's next? You're building the processes for the hitting department, at Showcase Baseball Academy. Not just about the swing, but the total approach and the holistic, part of it. Your incredible journey through amateur sports, winning a College World Series, working your way through the minor leagues, getting to the big leagues. It's going to allow you to pass along a lot of experiences, not just knowledge, but experiences that you've been through. You talked about you've been the worst player on the team, yet you've got up to the big leagues. You've gone 0 for 10, maybe 0 for 20, but you've also gone 8 for 10, and you know, so you see and how to manage that emotionally. So in doing that, you know, what would be the one thing you want to pass along to the youth player who wants to get to the big leagues? You had one piece of wisdom. What would it be?
Man, I would say don't miss it. Don't miss now. Like, you hear it a million times. The clues are everywhere. Like, so many people, like, want to go back. You know, they want to go back to those days that they missed. And it's like, right now is, like, it is the big leagues. Like, this is the day you have, the uniform you have, because, like, when it's all said and done, like, I'm sitting here on the outside of baseball, not sure if I'm going to ever play baseball again. So I'm in a half transition, like, I'm training. Like, we'll see if an opportunity comes. But it's like, there is something in my heart that simplifies down to, like, man, like, if I had one more day to wear a uniform and play the game, like, I would love that day. Like, I don't need 5 more years promised. Like, if I had one more day, like, I would play that day, and it would be awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like, kind of, when you look back at your career, it's like enjoying every moment and not being so in such a hurry to fulfill all of your goals that you miss, like, where your feet are. Man.
Yeah.
Like, this game's fun.
It can be it is cliche, but staying in the moment, staying in the present is so true. It's what all of us need to do, because if you're not 100% in that moment, then you're giving something away. You're not being intentional, and it's not easy to do. I think that's a learned process. It's definitely a learned process.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a learned process. It's a lot easier to sit here and share those insights when you've done it mostly wrong. You know what I mean? And I think that's the part of coaching. It's like, we do it wrong, and, like, our moments of our worst action or our biggest shames, like, it's like, through our faith, like, we can stand on those things because they no longer define us, and share them to, like, propel kids on a different journey. So it's like, looking back at my career and what it's been, and if and when it's over, like, it makes sense why it was what it was when I'm sitting from the seat I'm sitting in. It's like, your journey is not only for you. Like, what you're going through is so you can have a conversation with someone else someday, and you can walk them through it. And it's like, we're relational beings, meant for love, meant for relationships. So it's like, that everything you go through is bigger than you. If you can't make sense of why it's happening to you, it's probably because, like, it's going to help you connect with someone down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what's in store for the guys here, having you a part of their lives, not only in hitting, but, you know, just building inside of them really what the Lord wants you to build in them. And giving. If you're not giving, you're not living. It's kind of like the motto I live by. I wake up in the morning thinking to myself, who can I give to today? Who can I be a blessing to today? Because ultimately that's what the Lord wants to do through us.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And it's a place that I definitely feel called to, and I don't know what kind of pauses or what kind of speed we'll have, or if we're diving all in right away, but it's like, yeah, no, that's what I love to do. I love to share. I definitely will rub some people the wrong way. I'm a little dry. I'm a little intense sometimes, but I think it comes from a passionate place of, like, really wanting to see things change for the better. Right. Yeah, or fight for things that are already good.
You've always wanted to win, and I'm excited about that piece of the pie that you can add to the youth of the game. You know, how can I win in the classroom? How can I win in the weight room? How can I win with my relationships with my parents, friends, coaches? How can I win in the box?
Yeah, what is winning? That's right. Yeah, getting to that point. So, yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for joining us today. I'm excited about following your career and where the Lord's leading you, and it's going to be good. Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep.